Psalm 68. It's a psalm of David and it's simply entitled A Song. And it's the sort of psalm that I can quite imagine easily transferring to a hymn. It would be a longish hymn though, because it's quite a long psalm. We may not get it all in our 5 minutes. It begins with simply a sort of cry to God. Look, God, come on, show the world how great you are. Arise, O God, and scatter your enemies. Let those who hate God run for their lives. Drive them off like smoke blown by the wind. Melt them like wax in fire. Let the wicked perish in the presence of God, but let the godly rejoice. Let them be glad in God's presence. Let them be filled with joy. Sing praises to God, and to his name sing loud praises to him who rides the clouds. His name is the Lord. Rejoice in his presence. All the way through, it is punctuated by those shouts of praise as David just wants to say, Lord, you are great. Then he describes now his compassion, his mercy. Father to the fatherless, defender of widows, this is God, whose dwelling is holy. God places the lonely in families. He sets the prisoners free and gives them joy. But for rebels, there is only famine and distress. O God, when you led your people from Egypt, when you marched through the wilderness, the earth trembled and the heavens poured rain before you, the God of Sinai, before God, the God of Israel. Thinking back to some of those glorious times when God did wonderful miracles amongst his people, and saying, look, you've done it before, you can do it again. And in the meantime, you take care of the little people too. It's not just the important seeming ones. The Lord announces victory, and throngs of women shout the happy news. Enemy kings and their armies flee, while the women of Israel divide the plunder. Though they lived among the sheepfolds, now they are covered in silver and gold, as a dove is covered by its wings. The Almighty scattered the enemy kings like a blowing snowstorm on Mount Zalmon. I like the pictures that he evokes here. Like this one, the wind blowing the snow around, and that's like God just pushing the enemies aside. The majestic mountains of Bashan stretch high into the sea. Why do you look with envy, O rugged mountains, at Mount Zion, where God has chosen to live, where the Lord himself will live forever? Here is the most wonderful place, not a geographical place really, but a place where God is. And if you are a place where God lives, then that is the most wonderful place on earth. Our God is a God who saves. The sovereign Lord rescues us from death. You, my people. Isn't it good when the Lord calls us his people? We belong to him. He has bought us. He has brought us into victory in his procession. Your procession has come into view, O God, the procession of my God and King as he goes into the sanctuary. And he looks at the procession, and there are all the singers, there are all those who are singing praises, and they're all part of the procession. He finishes, tell everyone about God's power. His majesty shines down. His strength is mighty. God is awesome. praise be to God. Oh Lord, we praise you, for you are awesome. Your power is beyond words, and yet you make us to be your people. You care for us and you do amazing things on our behalf. Praise you, O Lord. Amen.